prohibition of nuclear weapons, the first international treaty to comprehensively ban nuclear weapons. The treaty addresses the disproportionate impact of nuclear weapons on women and indigenous peoples, and the importance of victim assistance and healing environmental harms in a groundbreaking way. We congratulate, celebrate, and appreciate the countries that have ratified and signed this important treaty, as well as all who have worked for nuclear disarmament and abolition for many decades, including all of you here. Thank you so much for your modeling, for your wisdom, for your courage, for your bravery, for your persistence, and just for your witness and the example and encouragement that you've been to me and to our communities. As people of faith, we believe that the possession, development, and threat to use nuclear weapons is immoral. There are no safe hands for these weapons. The accidental or deliberate detonation of a nuclear weapon would cause severe, long-lasting, and far-reaching harm on all aspects of our lives and our environment throughout the world. Further, these technologies are part of structures and systems that bring about great suffering and destruction. We commit, therefore, to the ethical and strategic necessity of working together for economic and social justice, right relationship with the earth, and accountability and restoration where there is violence and harm. We rejoice at the possibilities of a new world that this treaty ushers in. At a time when the world desperately needs fresh hope, the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons inspires us to continue to work to fully eliminate the threat of nuclear weapons and to create conditions for peace, justice, and well-being. We recognize the legacy of the global Hibakusha, survivors whose courage and perseverance serve as our inspiration, guidance, and moral foundation in the quest for a world free from nuclear weapons. This quest will continue until all nuclear weapons are eliminated from our planet. We invite everyone, especially those in communities of faith, to join us in this work for peace, justice, and respect for life, against which nuclear weapons stand in complete opposition, in ways that are meaningful and authentic to your traditions and how you are inspired to participate. We urge all states to join the growing community of states which have rejected nuclear weapons and to sign and ratify the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, or work toward that end by joining the first meeting of the states parties planned to take place this year. At this historic moment, we must act decisively to strengthen the power of the Treaty of the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons upon its entry into force, and to work for peace, cooperation, and common security. I know that it seems almost impossible that our country would ratify this, but it has given me strength and courage to see all the countries around the world who have joined together in coalition because they believe in a beloved community and they believe in collective strength. And it makes me proud because because with my work with the Interreligious Task Force in Central America and alongside the peoples of Central America, it makes me proud that Honduras was the country that made this treaty into forcible entry, the 50th country to ratify. Now there are over 80 countries, and we are just so grateful. So I'd like to end with a song, if that's okay. Y'all know that the catalog of the Peace Poets is our is our guide at many times, and so they came up with a song. Peace Poets from the South Bronx, our good friends. They came up with a song that I'm sure you all will know some of the words to, because they're words that we've meditated on and studied for many years. So join me as you're able. The words are, "We have come with a force more powerful than the guns in our enemies' hands. It's our love of all creation that will liberate this land. We have come from a force more powerful than the guns in our enemies' hands. It's our love of all creation that will liberate this land. We have come with a force more powerful than the guns in our enemies' hands. It's our love of all creation that will liberate this land. One more time. We have come with a force more powerful than the guns in our enemies' hands. It's our love of all creation that will liberate this land. Thank you.
Woo. Thank you, Chrissy. Brian Mallory. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Chrissy. Our beloved brothers and sisters in the struggle, people of good faith. My name is Brian Mallory. I'm one of the privileged people of the tri-chairs of the Ohio Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival. And I'm proud to stand here in solidarity with you. We at the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, have called for the adoption of the Poor People's Campaign Justice Jubilee platform to adjust 5 interlocking injustices spoken of by Dr. King of militarism, poverty, systemic racism, environmental degradation, and the false religious narrative of nationalism. False narrative of religious nationalism. We have highlighted 13-point policy priorities for the Biden-Harris administration, and these points we have put before the Congress as a focus for the next 6 months. I want to highlight the 13th point of these policy priorities that will help to heal our nation. The 13th point states that we would like to redirect the bloated Pentagon budget toward these priorities as a matter of national security. These resources must be moved away from the war economy and put to use to fight COVID-19 and poverty, invest in healthcare, jobs, infrastructure, education, and more. This also includes ending the provision of military-grade equipment and training to local and state law enforcement. And to quote Reverend Barber et al. In the writing Moral Policy equals Thank you. Excuse me. To quote Reverend Barber et al. From Moral Policy equals Good Economics. If America does not address what is happening with the visionary social and economic policy, the health and well-being of the nation is at stake. What we need is long-term economic policy that establishes justice, promotes the general welfare, rejects decades of austerity, and builds strong social programs that lift society from below. And in that vein, we in the movement have a saying, when you lift from the bottom, everybody rises. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Brian Steffen.
Mayor together, not one step back.